When Ted Kennedy arrived in South Africa in 1985, the apartheid regime's repression against blacks was ramping up. Thousands of blacks were detained. Hundreds would be killed that year. Kennedy wanted the policy of racial segregation underlying that violence to end.
There is polarization, clearly, in South Africa.
He came in the wake of his brother, Robert, who as a senator in 1966 made a historic visit of his own.
We have differences and we have different points of views.
Telling South Africans that striking out against injustice would send ripples of hope that could sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression. 20 years later, Ted Kennedy created ripples by visiting the voiceless in the poverty-stricken black township of Soweto.
One of the most distressing and despairing visits that I have made to any facility in my lifetime.
His trip introduced many Americans to Bishop Desmond Tutu. The anti-apartheid leader had just won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Whatever he says cannot just be dismissed lightly.
When he returned home, Kennedy sponsored a Senate bill to impose tough economic sanctions on South Africa. No imports, no bank loans to isolate the white minority regime. In the House of Representatives, William Gray sponsored the same measure.
If there was a human rights battle, civil rights battle, equal opportunity, Ted Kennedy was a leader.
But in 1985, Kennedy didn't have the votes. A Senate filibuster killed the sanctions bill. A year later, he tried again.
He pointed out the injustice and the immorality of America, the world's great democracy, standing with a legally racist society.
When President Ronald Reagan vetoed the bill, Kennedy led the effort to override it and won.
And we will not give in on sanctions on South Africa until South Africa is truly free.
Within 4 years, South Africa freed Nelson Mandela, its most famous anti-apartheid leader, and was on the path to reform. During his first visit to the United States, Mandela made sure to stop in Boston to visit Kennedy.
It is therefore a great deal of joy for us to have the opportunity of thanking him.
Mandela won South Africa's first open elections in 1994. Apartheid was over.
We couldn't have accomplished that glorious victory without the help of the international community.
Looking back, advocates say U.S. sanctions were a watershed moment.
We knew that we were going to win because we knew we were on the right side of history.
History that was affected by the senator from Massachusetts. Michelle Miller, CBS News, Washington.